Tonight, international government changes, major national scandals, and Clemson leadership changes. All that and more, this is Clemson News Now.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Libby Smith.
And I'm Jackson Cash. The capture and arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores has sent shockwaves around the world. On January 3rd, U.S. forces launched a mission known as Operation Absolute Resolve to retrieve Maduro and his wife from their residence in Caracas, where they were taken into custody to face multiple charges including terrorism, cocaine importation conspiracy, and possession of machine guns.
This comes after months of U.S. strikes on Venezuelan ships and a U.S. bounty of $50 million for information leading to Maduro's arrest. The U.S. government states that the destroyed ships were involved in drug trafficking, and tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela continued to escalate, eventually culminating in the early morning arrest.
President Trump has stated that the U.S. will run Venezuela for the time being. Though a plan of action has not been specified, the administration has stated that U.S. firms will develop Venezuela's oil industry and return oil profits claimed to be stolen. In the meantime, Vice President Delcy Rodriguez has become the country's interim president.
This military mission has drawn both criticism and praise from around the world. Within the United States, groups of protesters have demanded Trump release Maduro, with many voicing strong opposition to U.S. involvement in Venezuela. Internationally, demonstrators erupted outside U.S. embassies in both South Africa and Argentina, with several world leaders denouncing the U.S. actions.
In contrast, Venezuelan citizens have taken to the streets in celebration of an end to Maduro's reign, a period defined by hyperinflation, a humanitarian crisis, and widespread corruption and election fraud. Venezuelans nationwide hope that Maduro's arrest will lead to a fair and dependable government and remain optimistic regarding the country's future.
While protesters have filled streets around the world in response to the arrest, demonstrations and outrage have also been growing here at home. This week, pressure has turned to U.S. immigration enforcement following a deadly incident involving an ICE agent in Minneapolis.
Social media has been roaring with comments about 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a Minneapolis woman fatally shot by a United States immigration agent on January 7th. Good was shown in 47 seconds of video footage talking to the officer from the driver's seat of her car.
Good's wife stated that the couple had come to the area in support of other residents and had conversed with the officer as her wife remained in the vehicle. It is unclear at this time whether Good was shot before or after maneuvering the car and coming into contact with the officer.
Commentary surrounding the event is becoming increasingly polarized as many argue about whether the officer's gunshot was justified, with the Trump administration expressing support for the ICE agent's act as a form of self-defense. Still, many view the incident as an unnecessary expression of violence and aim to highlight Good's life in an attempt to discredit ICE's continued efforts in Minneapolis and other major cities. This is an ongoing story, and more details are expected as the investigation continues.
Another Minnesota headline has grabbed the attention in the Twin Cities, as on December 26th, a video posted by right-wing YouTuber Nick Shirley sought to expose various Minneapolis daycare centers run by Somali Americans. These daycares were found to be fully committing fraud by not providing services to children, despite receiving public funding to do so. This video shows Shirley visiting these centers, even pretending to be interested in enrolling a child.
One site, the viral Quality Learning Center, stands out as the most prominent in the video due to the misspelling of the word learning. When Shirley visits the particular site, it appears to be closed, with employees claiming Shirley is visiting outside of operating hours. The Quality Learning Center has since changed the spelling of the sign and has further closed this week.
Another center featured in this video, Mako Child Care Center, has appeared to be closed for almost 4 years, with the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families claiming that the center hasn't been open since 2022. Investigators conducted compliance visits to 9 of the 10 centers featured in the expose and found normal operations in all but one, which had not yet opened for the day.
4 of the 9 facilities are facing further investigation, with state officials declining to comment on the details of those inquiries.
Taking a look at the scoreboard, Jordan York has all the updates you'll need for a busy week ahead. Jordan, what do you have for us?
Well, Libby, we ended 2025 with the Pinstripe Bowl, leaving fans both cold and disappointed after Penn State took on the Tigers, handing them a 22-10 loss, and finishing with a season record of 7-6. The game was at Yankee Stadium in a cold, snow-covered New York, an environment the Tigers certainly weren't used to, and the Tigers' final performance of the season was one fans couldn't forget. Senior quarterback Cade Klubnik completed 22 of 39 passes for 193 yards, but the Nittany Lions defensive line sacked him 4 times in his final game. In a statement after the game, head coach Dabo Swinney said that there were, quote, just too many missed opportunities, and it's hard to win those games. Shortly after the bowl game, former offensive coordinator Garrett Riley was released from his position, and who replaced him? We didn't have to wait long to find out. Returning for his second tenure is Chad Morris, the former offensive coordinator for the Tigers from 2011 to 2015. Morris left the position, taking a head coaching position for the SMU Mustangs and later coaching at the University of Arkansas, Woo Pig Sooie. Morris's return has fans wondering if the glory days of Clemson football may be returning. And we'll find out real quick because the Tigers open up their 2026 season in Baton Rouge against Lane Kiffin and the new-look LSU Tigers. Clemson's football season may be officially over, but fear not, there's plenty of action elsewhere. The men's tennis team is coming back from the Boca Raton Hidden Duel, returning with 21 wins. The Tigers are opening their official season hosting LSU tomorrow at 5 p.m. Hoping to come out victorious as the better Tigers, Clemson hopes to defend home court and keep the wins coming. On the women's court, the Tigers are gearing up to play Mercer in their season opener tomorrow morning at 9:30. They are hoping to come back strong and take the win over the Bears, start the season the right way. Turning to the track, the Tigers wrapped up the Clemson Invitational with a total of 11 event wins, 13 top 10 performances, and a whopping 22 PRs. The Tigers are back here in Tigertown next Saturday for the Orange and Purple Invitational. The gymnastics season is in full swing as the Tigers have 2 meets under their belts. The Tigers posted a 196.55 against the Alabama Crimson Tide's 197.475 in a loss last Friday at Littlejohn, improving by nearly half a point from their season opener win against Towson. After the win, Bama shot up to number 3 in the gymnastics rankings, making the Tigers' loss look a lot better. And the Tigers are back to the mats, beams, and bars on the road meet against NC State on Saturday at 4 p.m. The action doesn't just stop there. Last Thursday, the women's basketball team led by senior guard Rachel Rose took down the NC State Wolfpack 75-65. 5 Tigers scored in double figures, with senior guard Mia Moore inching closer and closer to a career milestone of 1,000 points. Moore didn't waste any time hitting that milestone in Sunday's loss to Georgia Tech, draining a three-pointer to do so. In the final minute of the game, the Yellow Jackets took over the Tigers' lead, with Clemson feeling the sting of defeat, losing by just 3, 58-55. They returned to action looking to shake off the loss in Atlanta against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons on Sunday at noon. And finally, on Saturday, the men's basketball team won their 11th consecutive ACC road game, beating the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 76-51, with senior guard Justin Porter scoring a career high of 26 points and stealing the luck of the Irish 5 separate times. Then it was back to Littlejohn on Tuesday, and it was the Nick Davidson show. The Nevada transfer was on a new level against the Eagles, putting up 25 points on 8 of 11 shooting. He also had 2 steals, 3 rebounds, and was perfect from the free throw line, going 5 for 5. The Tigers moved to 5-0 in ACC play with a 74-50 win, and they'll be back in Littlejohn on Saturday as the 22nd ranked Tigers look to remain unbeaten in ACC play and end the unbeaten streak for Miami. It's a battle of conference unbeatens, and you don't want to miss it. Littlejohn gets loud at 2:15 on Saturday as they look to hand Miami a loss. Maybe starting a painful weekend for the Hurricanes if their football team loses to Indiana on Monday night as well. This weekend really does seem to be all about the U. That's all I have here. Back to you.
Thanks, Jordan. With the new semester in session, Clemson has had some slight changes in leadership. On December 9th, Clemson University President James P. Clemens announced his decision to retire after 12 years of serving in the position, effective December 31st.
In a heartfelt letter to the Clemson community, he reflects on the university's achievements during his time and explains his decision, saying, "After 17 years as a university president, I have reached a point where health and family must come first. I'm looking forward to spending more time with my wife, Beth, and our children and grandchildren."
The announcement came as a shock to many after Clements had recently signed a 5-year contract extension in October of 2024.
The Clemson board has announced a presidential search committee aiming to find a permanent replacement by fall of 2026. In the meantime, the board has appointed Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. Robert H. Jones, to serve as the university's interim president.
Following the firing of a Clemson professor that sent shockwaves across the Clemson community last September, a settlement has now been reached in favor of Dr. Joshua Breggy.
Breggy, a staff member, was released after reposting a Facebook post related to the Charlie Kirk assassination. Under the terms of the settlement, Breggy will continue to receive pay and benefits through the original term of his employment, but will not return to active teaching duties at the university.
He will officially resign effective immediately, May 15th, and will not be permitted to interact with students or continue research at Clemson during the spring semester. As part of the agreement, Clemson University leadership will provide Breggy with positive recommendations, allowing him to list Clemson as his place of employment when applying for future positions. ACLU attorney Alan Cheney released a statement regarding the settlement, saying the union was glad to reach an agreement that deters the university from violating First Amendment rights in the future.
With a 3-day weekend on the horizon and winter weather finally here, Angelina has the forecast you need to make all of your weekend plans. Angelina, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Libby. It's starting to get quite chilly this weekend in Clemson. Starting off this Friday with the highs in the mid-40s and the lows in the low 20s, it looks like us Tigers will need to be extra bundled up this weekend. We will enter Saturday morning with lows in the mid-30s, and as we continue into the afternoon, highs will be in the low 50s. We are also expecting around a 70% chance of a wintry mix around 6 a.m. Stay alert for slippery conditions. We will move into this Sunday with highs in the low 40s and lows in the mid-20s. That's all I have for you this week, Tigers. Make sure to stay warm. Back to you.
Thanks, Angelina. In news from Hollywood, the 83rd Annual Golden Globe Awards took place on January 11th, with lots of fashion, comedy routines, and of course, celebrity appearances.
Second-year host Nikki Glazer was able to bring lots of laughter and iconic moments to the stage, and movie and TV fans all over the country tuned in to see who would win awards. Hamnet, Adolescents, and K-pop Demon Hunters were just a few of the big winners on Saturday night, with many actors first-time winners.
Some of the other winning actors included Timothée Chalamet winning his first Golden Globe for playing the title character in Marty Supreme. 16-year-old Owen Cooper became the youngest TV winner for his portrayal of Jamie Miller in Adolescence, and Amy Poehler won her first Golden Globe for Best Podcast.
To see if some of your other favorites won awards, be sure to check out the Golden Globes website.
That's all we have for you this week. Stay tuned next week for more news. Nationally to locally, I'm Libby Smith.
And I'm Jackson Cash, Clemson News Now.